I want you to consider one thing. The entire time that I'm speaking with you, I want you to really meditate on this concept of how can I take my superpower, leverage it to make the most money possible in the least amount of time. And so one of the ways that I like to do that is with online marketing. And because I've been training in the online marketing for so many years, I have become a veritable online marketing expert. And so I'm here to share with you some of my tools today that help me and my clients dominate online marketing. Now, another little backstory about me. I don't just run my Instagram following, obviously. I've got 24,000 followers on Instagram. I'm really proud of being an Instagram influencer, but most of my business is working one-on-one with people as opposed to working with thousands and thousands of people at a time. I work with restaurants, fitness professionals, yoga studios, therapists, doctors, healers, and what I love to do with people is to walk them through an 8-week course that I've consolidated for y'all today in just about 90 minutes. I'll try not to go over. So one of the things that I start with every single one of my clients on is simply this: what is your superpower? And the reason that it's so important to me to identify your superpower is simply this. My superpower is to inspire people. I love to take someone who maybe has a business that, who maybe has a business that is stagnant, who maybe has a business that isn't making the money that it deserves, that person deserves, but they're putting in like 60, 70, 80 hours a week. And I'm going, there's gotta be a better way. There's gotta be a better way for you to leverage, to scale, to make the money that you want with your superpower. And the reason the money is so important is this, and this is one of the most important things I'm going to tell you today. The more money you make, the more people you can help. The more people you help, the more money you make. So I'm going to return to that concept today quite a few times actually. So let's repeat it. The more people I help, the more money I make. The more money I make, the more people I can help. Do you want to know what I want to do with my first $1 or $2 million that I make in my new business, which I started after being a stay-at-home mom and selling an $850,000 a year tea company that I was running? My goal is to save up a couple $1 million and build the biggest retreat center in Carbondale, Colorado, which is near Aspen where I live. I want this beautiful valley that I live in to be the conscious capitalism, the conscious entrepreneurship capital of the country. I want to be the epicenter for people who want to run conscious businesses. And to do that, I want to build a huge retreat center. To do that, I want to take people and do deep dive incubations for like a week at a time, where we can spend a lot of time both in front of a whiteboard and on the ski hill or rock climbing or something like that. So the more money I'm going to be able to make, the more marketing, the more PR, the TED Talks, the magazine articles, the more I can get my books out there, the more I can help people. And the best way that I know how to help people is by living in my unique superpower. So here's what my superpower is. My superpower is an inspirer. In fact, my license plate says inspire. It's the thing that I wake up to every morning and say, this is what I'm going to do today. I'm going to inspire someone to live a life they love. And that doesn't just come from business coaching. It's what I do for a living, in terms of it's what makes me feel like I have life in my veins, like I have blood coursing through my veins. I want to inspire people in their relationships, in their businesses, in their parenting. I want to inspire people to do what they're looking at other people doing and saying, I wish I had that job. And so my superpower is to inspire people. How did I come up with that? So I have a really simple method that I'm about to share with you. I believe that finding your superpower allows you to live for something that you would die for. So one of the things that I always say in my business coaching is find something you would die for and sell it with your soul. Because when you find that thing that gets you out of bed early in the morning and propels you and gets you excited and puts a smile on your face, you never really have to work a day in your life because you would do that for free. So here's how I've identified, after many, many years of studying the science of finding your why, finding what satisfies you, finding your life's purpose. I've read every book on this subject, and here's what I've come up with. It's just 7 steps. What I want you to do right now before we start is take out a notebook, get a piece of paper and a pen. If you haven't already, I'll give you a moment to do that, and write down the 7 questions that I'm going to give you. And later today, after this webinar is over, I want you to just sit with this and really focus on identifying your unique superpower, because I believe that once you understand what your superpower is, you'll be more efficient, you'll take higher ticket customers, you'll do the work that you want to do in less time because you're staying in your superpower, you're staying in your zone of genius. And so here's how I've identified the simple process of finding your superpower. So the first thing I want you to do is rewrite old stories, revisit past stories. What does this mean? So before the age of 7, we download 95% of all we're ever going to learn or believe without doing anything on the conscious level to change it. The book, The 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz, calls this our domestication. It's the religion, the rules, it's the way that you were taught to survive within your family unit. Now, I don't know about you, but the way I was taught to survive within my family unit, the domestication, the religion of my childhood is not something that I, as a conscious creator, have decided to take with me in my life today. So what are the old stories that you've been told? Perhaps you were told that money doesn't grow on trees, that rich people all inherit their money, that the only way to get rich is to be cruel, or maybe you were told that you're not beautiful. Maybe you were told that you are not going to be successful, that, you know, our family is cursed and the women in our family are cursed, the men in our family are cursed. What are these stories that people told you, and how are you going to rewrite those stories? So the simple process that I use to rewrite those stories, and I've written an entire book about this that you can find online, and I'll send you the link happily at the bottom of this video today. What I do to rewrite stories is to look at the ecosystem of my life, and that involves the relationships. It involves my self-love, my confidence, my business. What do I tell myself about my ability? And the only way Dr. Bruce Lipton found that the only way we can create or manifest the life of our dreams is to rewrite those stories. 95% of our lives are based off the stories we were told before the age of 7. However, conscious individuals can rewire their minds, rewire their thoughts, and change those stories just by repeating the story that you want in your head and then living your life in a way that manifests a new story. You can create a new life, but it takes a lot of conscious intention. So you can check out the book I've written about this at AspenEntrepreneur.com, and when I have a recording of this video, I'll post the link as well. So the next thing you can do to find your life's purpose, to find your superpower, after rewriting past stories, getting rid of those negative stories and replacing them with positive stories and positive thoughts, what I want you to do now is find your flow state. So your flow state is something, it's a term coined by Mihai Csikszentmihalyi, and he wrote a book called Flow. Your flow state is something that when you do it, you lose track of time. It is so satisfying to you. It is so fulfilling to you. Maybe it's writing. Maybe it's rock climbing. Well, I think everyone gets some flow state when they rock climb. Maybe it's teaching yoga. Maybe it's consulting. Maybe it's just having a conversation with a friend. If you're a therapist, it could be identifying ways to help people bring out pain and rewrite the stories of pain in their heads. So identifying your flow state. What is that thing that when you do it, you lose track of time because it's so enjoyable and so truly fulfilling to you? Identifying your flow state will bring you much closer to fulfilling your life's purpose and identifying your superpower. The next thing that I want you to do in order to identify your life's purpose and your superpower is to identify your zone of genius. Your zone of genius is a term coined by Gay Hendricks, and it is a reference to the thing you do better than anyone else. Now, here's what I do better than anyone else, and this isn't for everybody, but what I do better than anyone else is teach. I love getting on the phone. I love getting on camera and teaching people really high-level concepts in the realm of business or neuroplasticity, and I like making them bite-sized, and I like making them easy to understand. That for me is my absolute zone of genius. I'm really, really good at taking concepts, taking lessons, taking methodologies, taking systems, and putting them in bite-sized portions where they're really, really easy for people to understand and comprehend. I don't expect that everyone has read 500 books like I have over the last few years, but I do want to be able to take the knowledge that I have, the decades of experience that I have in entrepreneurship, and distill them into something that my clients and my friends can understand in just a few sentences versus a few books or a few years of work. So I have a unique zone of genius that allows me to teach really, really well. The next thing to identify your superpower after you've figured out what your past stories are and decided to consciously rewrite them, after you've identified your flow state, that thing that you do and you lose track of time because it's so enjoyable for you, and after you have identified your zone of genius, that thing you do better than anyone else, stick within that zone of genius. Try to do it as much as humanly possible. Don't get bogged down in, let's say, SEO when your brain doesn't really work very well with left brain analytical stuff. Maybe your business is going to be propelled more by something more creative or right brain. So identify that zone of genius and try to do it all day long. Gay Hendricks tells a really funny story in his book, The Big Leap, where a man who was making, let's say, millions of dollars a year, a very, very wealthy man in the book, he was trying to fix his printer and he spent 10 hours screwing around with that printer. And Gay said, you know what? If you would have spent 10 hours working on your business and staying in your zone of genius, how much money could you make? The man answered, oh my God, tens of thousands of dollars. But instead, over $100 printer, he spent 10 hours of his life and time. So sticking in your zone of genius not only helps you feel more satisfied in life, but it helps you make more money in your business. The next thing, step number 4 to finding your life's purpose, is to do something that feels good. So maybe you're a restaurant owner, maybe you're a yoga teacher, maybe you're a fitness professional, a healer, maybe you do massage or Reiki, maybe you have a retail store, you could be a doctor, an attorney, etc. Do you believe from the bottom of your heart that what you're doing makes the world a better place? Are you contributing to the world, to higher consciousness in the world through what you do? You know, a man named Nick Seneca, he discovered that in a study of 200,000 adults across 136 nations, that the people who were the happiest in life were those who connected with and contributed to others in their life's work. So what are you doing that connects with and contributes to others? Do you believe that your accounting practice is really raising the vibration of the world? If yes, then maybe you should continue doing it. If it's a drudgery and you absolutely hate doing it, you should probably move into something that really lights your heart on fire, that makes you feel like you're making the world a better place. So the next thing that we like to do to discover our superpowers, step number 6, is to visualize what you want in your life. Visualize, maybe it's a vision board, maybe it's writing mantras on your mirror with lipstick like I do every week. Visualize the thing that you want. Can you see yourself in, let's say, a corporate boardroom teaching your methodologies to huge corporations, if you're a business consultant, for instance? Or can you see yourself running the hottest restaurant in town where hundreds and hundreds of people come every single week and have the best experience of their week? Are you visualizing the end goal, what your superpower brings to the world on a higher level? Until you train your brain, there's something called a reticular activation system. And what this simply means is that when you visualize something, what you're doing is you're training your brain to create that visualization as a reality in your life. So what I like to visualize is I like to visualize myself on stage. Maybe it's a TED Talk, maybe it's on a Super Soul Sunday with Oprah, maybe it's at a big conference that I want to teach at. I like to train my brain to look for opportunities to connect the dots to make those things happen in my life. The best way I know how to do that is through vision boarding, and I will post a link where you can find my book on finding your life's purpose and vision boarding and all that stuff on this video. And finally, the 7th step to finding your life's purpose is simply this: sit in silence and surrender every day for several minutes. Look for signs and synchronicities. Yes, that's a lot of alliteration because I teach this every single day in my business consulting practice, but here's what it really means. Now, when you go to bed at night, tell me if you're like me. You close your eyes, you lay down on your pillow, and then you start to think about your day, and all of a sudden you're up for like 2 or 3 hours. What happens is this: when we sit in silence, neuroplasticity is the strongest in our brains. What that means is that your brain is the most malleable. Your brain can change the most when we turn off all the distractions around us and sit in silence. This is why meditation is such a hot trend over the last 6,000 years or something of recorded history, because when we meditate, when we sit in silence and surrender to a higher power or to more clear thoughts, or however you like to meditate, what happens is that our brains are the most active. When you think you're turning everything off and you're sitting there in your meditation and you're, doing your mudra or something, and you're taking your deep breaths, that's when we're doing the most molding and changing and rewiring and rewriting in our brains. It's called neuroplasticity. I've written an entire course about this. You can find it at AspenEntrepreneur.com. Don't worry, in the replay, I'll have the link posted on this video. So let's cover everything that we just discussed about finding your life's purpose. Number 1, rewrite your old stories. If there's a negative story in your head about your sickness, about your looks, about your love life, about your business, about your ability to create money, about your ability to parent, about where you live, about what you do for a living, if you don't like those stories, you need to consciously rewrite those stories to create the life of your dreams. Number 2, find your flow state. What is that thing that when you do it, you lose track of time? Everything feels so juicy. You forget to eat or go to the bathroom because you absolutely love what you're doing. I'll tell you when I'm in flow state. right now while I'm shooting this video, because my life's purpose, my superpower, is to inspire people. And the thought that hundreds of thousands and maybe millions of people are going to see this video absolutely lights me up. So I am in my flow state right now. I don't know what time it is. All I know is that I have a message that can raise the vibration of the world, that can help a million businesses. I want to get it out there. I'm in a total zone right now. Speaking of zone, step number 3 to finding your superpower is to stick to your zone of genius. You know, traditional education tries to turn your C's into A's. They want every student to be good at math, good at science, good at writing, good at art. The truth is, everyone is not good at everything. And the worst thing I see in my clients is when they try to be the Jack or Jane of all trades. But what if all day long you built your life, your business, your love relationships, your parenting around the thing you do best? So my son, he's not going to get a mom who's going to teach him how to play basketball. I'll tell you that right now. I'm 5'1". But what he is going to get is a mom who's very committed to playing outside, to doing art projects, to being very conscious and loving and empathic with our friends. I'm not going to be the Pinterest mom who's baking cookies. That's for sure. Anything I bake, even if it's a sweet potato, it burns. But what my son is going to get from me is he's going to get the creativity, the art, and the playtime that I can give him. I'm going to stick in my parenting to my zone of genius, that thing I do better than anyone else. It's definitely not baking, but I can saute a mean pasta sauce. And in my business, I am not going to look at Google Analytics ever. I'm going to hire someone to look at Google Analytics because it'll waste all my damn time. What I am going to do in my business is the creative side, creating products, creating content, creating social media posts, creating videos. That is the stuff that I do better than anybody else. And so therefore, I'm going to design and engineer my life and business around staying in my zone of genius. When I started doing that, it absolutely blew up my reach, my social media reach, for instance. Prior to that, I was building content and creating webinars and sitting on Google Analytics and looking at conversion rates and trying to build my email list. And I felt so exhausted with the analytical side of my business. So I said, you know what? I'm going to take some time and just do what I love, just stick to my zone of genius. And all of a sudden, boom, in 26 weeks, I had 24,000 Instagram followers who are clamoring for my advice, for my coaching, for my business services, because I don't try to be the Jane of all trades in my business. I focus on one thing that I do well, and I do it like a rock star. The fourth thing we'll review real quickly to find your superpower is to do something that makes you feel good. If it feels good, you're probably going to do it over and over and over. And yes, what I am saying is step number 4, get addicted to your superpower. And if you get addicted to something that's raising the vibration of the world, that's making you lots of money, it's probably a hell of a lot better than working in a job you hate and drinking yourself to sleep every night. Because let's be honest, a lot of people in this country are doing that right now. So find your zone of genius and do what makes you feel really, really good. And honestly, I believe that's the key to never working a day in your life. Step number 5, we're doing a quick review of your superpower and finding your life's purpose. Step number 5 is connecting with and contributing to others. Nick Seneca-Jankel found that over a study of 200,000 adults in 136 nations, the people that were the happiest were connecting with other people, were contributing to other people. There was a man that they say lived to 150 years old recently. There was a big viral video about it. And someone said, what was the key to living such a long life? The man smoked like a chimney. He had no reason to live past 45. And you know what he said? I am surrounded by people who love me. And that's what helped me to live 150 years. And I think that's a real beautiful illustration for step number 5 in finding your superpower. Step number 6 is to visualize what you want. Our brain has something called the reticular activation system. What this means is that when we visualize something in our brains, our brain will therefore, it's such a powerful machine, go and look for the opportunities to fill and create the pieces to that puzzle in our lives. I love to use a vision board that shows me driving my white Tesla, speaking in retreats, giving a TED Talk, hanging out with Oprah, and I'm now creating an image in my brain that my brain is going to look to create in my subconscious mind. And finally, in order to find your superpower, stop, sit in stillness, and allow your brain to grow. Look for the signs and synchronicities in the universe that are going to propel you to living your dream life. Now we're going to take a little bit of a step into more of the business side of things. I'm going to focus right now on business models, because once you've identified your superpower, remember what I said my superpower is? It's to inspire people. Whether I'm at a single moms group or the gymnasium or rock climbing or a yoga class or on the phone with a client or shooting a Facebook or Instagram video, I'm inspiring people. That's my superpower. And guess what? I make money doing it, and here's how. So when you identify your superpower, create a business model around getting that superpower in front of as many people as humanly possible. Like I said at the beginning of this webinar, there are 8 billion people on the internet right now. That's very good for you, because that means there are a potential base of clients of 8 billion people. All you have to do is reach out to a tiny little segment of that to make incredible money doing what you love. And so one of the illustrations that I referred to earlier was someone who charges $100 an hour for what they do. And this person wants to make 10 grand a month, which most entrepreneurs starting out, they say, oh, I want to make 100 grand a year at 10 grand a month, which is great. But here's the thing. If you're only charging $100 per client, in order to make $10,000 a month, you have to take 100 clients. That, my friend, is exhausting. There are a lot of ways that you can negotiate all the work that it's going to take to prospect and close and invoice 100 people. And we're going to go into that right now. So, the first thing that you need to do to build an absolute beautiful business around your superpower is identify how your superpower is going to change lives. What I found in my superpower, being that I am an inspiring person, is that my superpower helps people have the courage to leave their 9-to-5 jobs and run businesses as an entrepreneur. I don't think entrepreneurship is for everyone. In fact, I don't think most people should even try to be entrepreneurs. It's a damn roller coaster. Every week I feel like, oh my gosh, I'm high as a kite. This is amazing. Oh my gosh, this is so scary. I don't have guaranteed income in, 3 months or 6 months from now. So one of the things that I like to do with people is to really hone in how you're solving a problem for people. And maybe solving a problem for people is they need a beautiful place to stay, and you run a retreat or a hotel. Or maybe the problem is people are unhealthy and you're a fitness trainer or a health professional and you can make them well. So what is the problem that you are solving? With Moms Wear Capes, one of my businesses, the problem that I'm solving is simply this. Moms have children and then they don't have time to work on themselves or their businesses. So I've put together the world's most incredible lot of resources in personal and business development designed with moms in mind. My next business, the only other business I really devote a lot of time to, is my business consulting practice. The problem is that a lot of people want to run their own business and they fail. So I take my 17 years of experience and my incredible network in entrepreneurship and online marketing, and I help people make more money with the right activities. And my unique value proposition is where I'm going to go with this solution. So Brendon Burchard has this model, and the model is I help people blank so that blank. If you cannot distill your business into this very unique statement, you are probably going in the wrong direction. You're probably not selling or closing prospects. You're probably feeling chaotic. You're probably feeling anxiety in your business. So Moms Wear Capes helps moms thrive as women in order to be the super moms that they want to be. Aspen Entrepreneur is a full suite online marketing group that helps business owners reach more high-ticket customers in more efficient ways. The unique value proposition is why your business is so much different than your competition. So why is my business different? Because I help people make more money in less time through online marketing. It's specific, but it also encompasses a very specific target market. Maybe your unique value proposition is I am an artist who helps corporations create art that inspires productivity in their employees, or I create art that helps businesses create a sense of warmth and nurture in their environment. So don't say I paint pretty pictures. Have a unique value proposition even if you're a fine artist. There are infinite examples of how other businesses of mine do that. I have one woman who's a client of mine who runs a business where she sells plant-based medicine. She helps men and women heal themselves from anxiety and sleep disorders through plant-based medicine that costs much less than going to a doctor every month. Do you see how she's very specifically honed in her superpower? She's a healer, her unique value proposition, plant-based medicine, and a target market for people who don't want to spend a ton of money on chemical sleep and mood disorder drugs, pharmaceutical drugs. So she has a very unique value proposition that she's kind of put into this statement, and I want you to write this down. I just said it, but I'll repeat it. I help people blank so that blank. The next thing that you're going to do once you have a solution to a problem that you can deliver to the 8 billion people that are online, once you've identified your unique value proposition, what I want you to do is think about your unfair advantage. Now, this isn't something they probably taught you in a traditional MBA program, but it's something that you may look at as your capital in your business. What's your unfair advantage? Now, a lot of people start a business and the first thing they look for is investors, or the first thing they look for is capital, money to start their business. I don't agree with that model. I believe that a huge Facebook following, a great LinkedIn network, maybe, you have a video that went viral online. Maybe you have a great YouTube channel. Maybe you have an advanced degree that allows you to call yourself a doctor. Maybe you've written a book. What is your capital? What is your unfair advantage? What do you have that money can't buy? Because you don't just need money to start a business. You need a network. You need an unfair advantage. You need something that sets you apart from your competition. I'll tell you what sets me apart. I'm going to be real vulnerable with you. What sets me apart is my ability to form fantastic relationships with people where they trust me because they can feel energetically that I'm doing right by them. Maybe your unfair advantage is a huge social media following. Maybe your unfair advantage is the fact that you have a retail store with people coming in for yoga classes, and now you're going to start a side hustle of plant-based medicine or essential oils or massage equipment or exercise equipment. You already have those people coming coming in your door. So adding an additional income stream, starting a new business within that model is going to be very effortless for you. So consider what capital you have to run your business. One of my favorite things that I do to make passive income at home is to refer my friends' businesses. Because I'm so good at developing relationships with people, I refer my friends to realtors, financial advisors, accountants, fitness professionals, therapists, you name it. And y'all, I get paid on every one of those referrals, and you should too. So think about ways that you have a network. Think about the capital, the relationship capital, or the social media capital that you have, and how you can use it to propel your business in lieu of cash money or investors. The next thing I want to talk to you about when it comes to really setting up a solid business model is your target customer. Who is your target customer? Who is your target market? Now, I time and time again see people build a website where they're trying to market to every single person out there. Let's say you run a CrossFit studio or a restaurant, and you're just trying to get every single person in the town to be a patron at your studio or your restaurant. Well, the problem is your CrossFit studio could hyper focus its effort maybe just on, let's say, the skiing community or the rock climbing community or ultra runners, or maybe moms who want to lose weight after having a baby. Maybe you're going to focus on men, who are feeling more flabby, who are experiencing too much estrogen. Do you see what I'm doing with this? I'm segmenting my market to one very target market. I only work with men and women who have I'm only targeting men and women who have a lot of social savvy, who want to work in online marketing. I'm not working with people who are scared to get on their computers, even though I could make money off consulting businesses for people who do old-fashioned marketing. I hyper-focus my efforts on people who take beautiful pictures, who post beautiful content, who have great copywriting skills, because they're very complementary with my own skill set and my own success in a business. So I super focus my efforts, my marketing efforts on Instagram, which I'll talk to you about later, because I like working with people who have great content for online marketing, because I believe that if you're not doing online marketing, you're very vulnerable in today's world. The next thing I want to know about your target customer is where are they hanging out. So my target customer hangs out on Facebook and Instagram. My target customer probably doesn't do a lot of LinkedIn. They probably at night don't watch Netflix. They probably watch a lot of YouTube videos and educational videos, because I work with people that are very ambitious professionals. And so I like to really focus my efforts on people who are lifelong learners, who are very powerful leaders. And so therefore I like to go hang out on YouTube, make comments on certain Facebook pages for entrepreneurs, for people who identify as maybe startups or be your own boss type groups. I hang out in the places where my target customer is. All I have to do is simply post a comment on someone's link that says, well, have you ever thought about doing this? Have you ever thought about doing that? And boom, a relationship is formed. So find out where your target customer is hanging out, and then find a way to build relationships within that community. Don't try, please, I'm going to repeat it. Don't try to be all things to all people, because you will mean nothing to anybody. Really hyper focus your community. The woman that I brought up at the beginning of this video, Stephanie, she is so smart to really identify with the multiple sclerosis community. She could try to be the next Marie Forleo when it comes to entrepreneurship, but I don't think she's going to be able to compete with Marie Forleo, who's kind of got, 1 million followers, and she's the catch-all business coach. But who she can reach that maybe nobody else is reaching is, like her, the MS Survivor Thriver community. So instead of trying to reach 1 million people poorly, she can try to reach 10,000 people in a very effortless way, where they trust her, where they look up to her, where she's speaking their language. The next thing I want to talk to you about is revenue streams. When you start a business, one of the things that people do is they get a little desperate for their first customers, and they don't really pay attention to the highest revenue producing activities or revenue streams. What are you selling? Are you selling, for me, for instance, I'm a business coach, but I'm also an online influencer. So I have my high ticket customers that I take for consulting engagements. But in addition to that, I love making passive income. So I have some clothing stores, some information products, some online schools. I even sell social media software to people, financial products. I don't devote 90% of my effort to all 10 income streams, but what I do love to do is I love to have multiple revenue streams to supplement my income. So let's say next month I'm doing a deep dive with 4 different businesses, maybe 5, but I'm going to take 4 very high level businesses for the months of May and June. I'm going to devote most of my efforts to those businesses. But what I also like to have on the side is some passive or semi-passive income streams. If you have a business selling, let's say, diapers, what else can you sell that customer to increase your revenue streams in your business? Maybe you have a grocery store and you're making an additional 15% on every single person who checks out because of all the little bells and whistles you have at the checkout counter. So really focus on your revenue streams, how you can raise the ticket, raise the overall ticket price for each customer that comes in the door. And the next thing I want to talk to you about, which marries beautifully with your revenue streams, is your repeat customers and memberships. Now, I have bad news for you. The hardest thing you're going to do is take someone's credit card for the first time. And now here's the good news. The easiest thing you're going to do in your business to make the most money is to take someone's credit card again. So for me as a business coach, that means once someone has done 8 weeks of coaching with me and they absolutely love me and my service, what am I going to sell them? Another month of coaching, obviously. It's so much easier to sell memberships, VIP, and repeat customers because that person and I already have a relationship than going out there and prospecting 20 people to maybe sell one of them. So really focus on opportunities that you can create to have multiple repeat customers. Focus yourself on doing VIP programs where once you've gotten someone's credit card, you can keep selling them more stuff, okay? So all of my business consulting clients will now get funneled into one of 3 affiliate marketing products that I sell to help their businesses. One of them is an Instagram growth tool. One of them is a LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook tool. Another one is a brain health tool. It's not because I'm trying to squeeze everything I can out of these customers. It's because I have more things that I can sell them that will help them. So be really conscious. Don't call yourself, let's say, you're running a yoga studio, and in that yoga studio, you're also trying to sell, let's say, art supplies. I don't think that you're really selling something that meets that target market. I don't know. It depends what town or community you're in. But maybe selling massage products, fitness tools, exercise tools, acupuncture tools, essential oils is a really great additional income stream so that people whose credit card you already have can just add on to their order every month. So be really intelligent. If you're creating multiple revenue streams in your business, make sure that you do it with integrity. Do it in a way that your target market knows that you're really focused on one thing. Maybe that's a business coach, maybe that's a yoga studio, maybe that's a restaurant, maybe it's a toy store. But whatever your target customer, whatever someone who's already given you their money has purchased, make sure if you're trying to sell them something else, it's also helping that original need. They're going to trust you a lot more when you have integrity with your additional revenue streams. And if you don't have multiple revenue streams within your business, y'all, you need a business coach to help you figure out how to do that. And you can contact me later. But I have a lot more material to get through today and not a lot of time. So let's head to one of my favorite ways to make incredible money in my life and business, it's through using affiliates. I'm going to share with you a secret. Yesterday, I met a man who has the largest small business practice in Colorado. And we're sitting in the meeting and he's telling me he's got the largest small business practice in Colorado and he's a consultant and a coach. And I'm going, why are we sitting in this meeting? We're competing with each other. And he said, actually, we're not competing with each other. Through the organization that I work with, I only make a very small hourly wage. But because it's a government-funded organization, I am obligated to, after my discovery session with someone where I only make $35 an hour, I'm obligated to refer them out to another coach who can do a little bit more of this specific surgery on their business. Ding, 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 all of a sudden the lights go off in my head and I'm going, tell you what, every person you refer me to, where I put them in a $3,500 or $2,500 coaching program, I'll kick you back $500 or $1,000 for giving me that warm lead. And so I want to discuss that model that I'm using. Oh, I want one more example of that. I have a financial advisor that I work with, and he has an incredible network of people, but he's not selling them high ticket programs. So I took my network where I have a $5,000 financial product that I believe is one of the most profound, amazing things to hit finance and to hit families in America this year. And I said, tell you what, if you use your network of financial clients to sell this product, I'll give you half the commissions on it. And so that $1,000 commission I would make, I'm only making $500, but I don't have to do any work. I just licensed out that financial product to a friend of mine. So what are ways that you can either gain referrals from other business professionals, or what are ways that you can give people a commission on your service or your product in order to make them ambassadors of your business? I have a lot of ambassadors in my business, people who know that I devoted $85,000 to building my online schools and my information products and my websites, and they're going, oh, I don't have the time or the money to build an online school. So I say, tell you what, be my ambassador, sell my school, and I'll give you half the commissions. So what are ways that you can make partnerships and affiliates within your business so that you can now have people become your affiliates or your ambassadors. I like the name ambassador more because the MLM thing kind of ruined affiliate for me. So next thing I want to talk to you about is called relationship marketing. Relationship marketing is the number one way that I build my business. And the reason is this. I think at the end of the day, let's say you're going to buy a car, or you're buying health insurance, or you're buying any number of products. The car salesman or the insurance agent or the doctor who asks you how your kids are, who asks you how your family vacation was, you are so much more likely to do business with that guy or gal. They don't have to be the smartest. They don't have to be the prettiest. They don't even have to have the most experience. But that person who cares about you and your family, they're going to get your business every time. So what I want to ask you right now is, how are you building relationships with people? And what I want to really tell you is that every person that you prospect trying to use this great ninja marine warrior sales tactic, at the end of the day, the best way you can go to war for your business is to build relationships. I believe this with my whole heart, because my highest ticket customers tell me they love me. My highest ticket customers are telling me they want a vacation in Colorado and meet me and my child, or do play dates with me and my son if they're my local clients. Relationship marketing is king, and anyone who wants to tell you that you can build a business by sitting behind a computer and never getting on the phone and, dial in your sales funnel and have a high conversion rate on your information product, it's possible, but it's not probable, because there are a million people out there who are building information products. There are a million people out there who have websites. Billions of people have websites at this point. But what really sets you apart, what really closes a sale more quickly than anything else on the planet, is relationship. So I really want to hone in relationship marketing. One of my favorite analogies with relationship marketing is this. Do you look like a cat or do you look like a piece of cheese? Are you scaring people away or are you enticing them to do business with you because you look like a reward? You look like you're not going to screw them over, like you're not going to maybe attack them with a surprise move. Okay, so engendering trust and building relationship with people, I can't express how important this is enough, because when I started getting back into business after I took time off as a stay-at-home mom, things were really weird for me. So I had a list of 60,000 people, and I sold $850,000 a year of a medicinal tea. The company is called Slim Tea. You can Google it. I think they've changed their name since to Okuma. And I pretty much got to sit at my computer all day. I talked to a customer maybe once a year because I had a huge email list that I could pillage every day with sales and specials. And I got out of stay-at-home motherhood and I said, you know what? I'm going to start a brand new business in a brand new industry from scratch. So I did what I have always done. I built a product and I tried to market an information product. And what I learned is that without a huge email list, that shit was not flying off the shelves. In fact, I was going broke. And what I started to do was simply allow people to call me to ask me about the product. I raised the price of the product to about $600. And sure enough, half the people who got on the phone with me were buying that product. And a lot of them were buying more and more and more of my products. Maybe they were going into consulting. Maybe they were going into buying other information products or schools that I had online. So at the end of the day, what I learned was building my list and building my bank account, and the best way was relationship marketing. So I started to ask people at a recent entrepreneur incubator about this, and sure enough, every single expert was saying, oh, hell yes. That is exactly how I built my book of business. Now, one day, I may have a TED Talk with 1 million views. I'm going to be on Super Soul Sunday. I'm going to have articles in Entrepreneur Magazine. I'm going to have multiple viral videos, and people are going to buy whatever I tell them to buy because I've got a great reputation and a huge email list. But when you're starting out in business, you're probably not going to convert like Russell Brunson with a killer funnel and a $47 ebook. But the way that you are going to start building a following is by relationship building. I believe this with all my heart. I will defend it to my death. The next thing I want to talk to you about is efficiency. So for everyone who's watching this webinar, I would like you to go to Amazon at the end of the webinar and get a book that I have called 100 Free Tools for Entrepreneurs. Here's something I want you to know. For most things that you do on the internet today, you can probably find a way to do it for free. That's why I wrote the book called 100 Free Tools for Entrepreneurs, because I believe that people spend way too much money starting a business when they can do a lot of stuff for free with tools that are available to them on the internet. So one of the biggest things that I like to coach my clients to do is to be very, very efficient in their businesses. Well, I just shot a live video this morning to my Instagram page, in fact, about being efficient with my time this week. My son is with his dad this week, which I don't want to think about because I'll literally start crying. And I started to kind of have a panic attack last night. And I shared this story, and I'm going to share it with you right now. I had a panic attack because suddenly I thought about the 25 different things on my to-do list that I didn't get to when I had my son last week. And I woke up almost in a sweat. My heart was beating out of my chest, and I realized I'm not listening to my own advice of being efficient with my time. So I sat down, and this is my favorite tool for efficiency. I just simply wrote down 3 to 5 things that I need to accomplish this week to make the most money and the most impact in my business. They included this webinar, editing it, getting it on YouTube. They included shooting a video for the financial product affiliates that I have. It included finishing up the Moms Wear Capes app, which I'm really excited and proud about. And then I stopped and I said, anything else I do, icing on the cake. But as long as I do those 3 things, as long as I focus on those 3 high-level activities, I don't need to email my list. I don't need to upload a video to YouTube. I don't even need to post on social media. Just focus on the 3 things that are going to make me the most efficient, the most amount of money, and the least amount of time this week. So I want to really encourage you to stay in that high-level 30,000 foot view of your business when you start to get overwhelmed and anxious, because there are so many things you can do to propel your business, but it's important to stay laser focused on the things that count. The next thing I want to talk to you when it comes to building a business is writing a book. The reason I'm telling you this is because I believe that your reputation is everything. I've written 5 books. I've built 2 online courses. I have 5 information products. I have 24,000 followers on Instagram. I have 4 Facebook pages. I have several Facebook groups that I run. I have a lot going on, and I've done all of that in just the last 2 years. Do you think it's because I want to work 60-hour weeks? Absolutely not. The reason I wrote my books, the reason I have my social media accounts is because my reputation is everything to me. When people Google me, I want them to see a very powerful person. I want them to see someone they can trust. I want them to see someone that they're attracted to working with. So your reputation is everything. I like to tell people that your book, if you write a book, for instance, it makes you look like you're an expert in your field. And in all likelihood, if you've done the 7-step life's purpose exercise that we talked about earlier, you are doing something you are truly an expert in. So stuff like writing a book, what I love about that is it sets you apart as the expert. I'm so good at this that I wrote a book about it. Other things you can do to build your reputation is have consistent marketing. So Gary Vaynerchuk posts a video blog or a vlog every single day of his life because he believes that when he shows up 365 days a year on camera, that big investors know this man shows up like a boss. He doesn't take weeks off to lay in bed and question his life. This man is showing up every single day. So what are things that you can do to illustrate that you're an expert? Writing a book, getting published in local magazines or newspapers, doing TV appearances. I did a TV appearance last year talking about confidence that was one of the best videos I've ever done. I have posted it everywhere online because I want everyone to see how I showed up and talked about confidence as it relates to business. What are things you are doing to make yourself a personal brand? I believe that your reputation and your personal brand are 2 of the most important activities that you can spend time doing. I post pictures of myself all the time on Instagram. Do you think it's because I believe I'm the most beautiful person in the world and everyone wants to look at pictures of me hiking around the mountains? No, absolutely not. The reason I'm posting pictures constantly is to remind people of Stephanie Pierucci, the brand Stephanie Pierucci. Get it in their heads. Look at her. She's showing up. She's at a networking event. She's with her clients. She's hiking in the mountains. Whatever it is, make sure that your personal brand stands out. I have a very specific tool for building your personal brand that I'm going to tell you about in the last segment of this webinar today on social media. The next thing I want to do to discuss your business today is your sales funnel. If you've never heard what a sales funnel is, it is about time. Your sales funnel is quite simply draw a funnel like this. And now imagine the tip of the funnel, the bottom of the funnel. It's easier if I write it. Hold on, let me show you. Your sales funnel is literally something that looks like a funnel. Oh, I've actually drawn one in my notebook already for someone else. So what your sales funnel is simply this. The tip of the funnel, this is your highest ticket client. This is where you're trying to funnel everybody that you talk to, that you prospect. How are you going to get people to the bottom of your funnel? It's by offering them maybe a conversation or a discovery call, getting them in the door of your restaurant or yoga studio, getting them to do a $10 membership or a $10 class. And then from there, have a higher ticket item. Maybe it's going to be a $100 membership. Maybe it's going to be a $500 business plan. And then what's the next piece of your funnel? A higher ticket item. So you're not just, when you're prospecting customers, you're not immediately trying to sell them on a $4,000, $5,000 package. You're giving them free content first and foremost. This does a couple things. Number one, like I told you, the first time you get the credit card is the hardest, and it's easier to upsell people once they already have given you their credit card, once they already have illustrated that they trust you. The next reason is because not every single person you prospect is going to invest in your business or service, but a lot of them are going to love the free content you create and maybe become a customer way down the line. So all of my sales funnels go to one place, which is my email list. My email list is the traffic that I own. It's not Instagram, it's not Facebook, it's people's personal email addresses. I can communicate with them. No Instagram, no Facebook is going to limit what I can say to those people when they're on my email list. My sales funnel starts with giving free videos to people because I love to shoot videos and I love to shoot information products. I give people free videos. If they like that video, then I'm probably going to try to sell them a $47 or $100 product. From there, if they like that product and they really trust me and my information and my content, then I'm going to discuss with them some business coaching, or maybe I'll sell them on a $1,000 product or an online school or something like that. So really focus and think about your sales funnel and how important that is. A lot of people have a sales funnel that gives people free videos, which then causes them to give their email address. A lot of people have social media funnels where you're engaging people on social media before you try to engage them in a phone call. I have people who've been watching me for months and months, and they're they know so much about my life because they're watching my social media. Those are going to be incredibly easy people to convert into higher ticket items that I sell because I've been delivering free content to them for months and months and months. So whatever I sell them, they're going to probably buy because they trust me, they trust that I show up, they know my reputation, and most importantly, I haven't started by just getting online and saying, buy my stuff, buy my stuff. I like to do a very specific funnel where I start by giving free stuff. I then address maybe a $47 or $97 product with people before I ever approach them about a $5,000 or $10,000 product. So now we're going to wrap up our session today. We're going to wrap up our webinar today with one of my absolute favorite things, which is social media. The social media game is basically my favorite thing about the internet right now. I love using social media, and here's why. Everything I've talked to you about today, I can accomplish through social media. If you're not using social media, you are very vulnerable as a business right now. I've talked to more people who are telling me, I don't understand. I made $70,000 or $100,000 a year in my business and it dried up. And most of the time it's because their previous clients are no longer walking into their mom and pop retail store looking for an accountant or a doctor or a massage therapist. They're finding everything online. Gary Vaynerchuk is kind of the social media preacher right now on the internet at the time of this video, and he likes to say that in order to be successful in 2019, I hate to break it to you, but the amount of content that you must produce on social media is what he calls staggering. You can put up 1 or 2 pieces a day of social media content, and some days that's all I'm able to do. But the truth is, in order to really get in front of people, you got to produce a lot of content. So what I want to also address right now is we talked about sales funnels a minute ago. let's go back to that concept. Gary Vaynerchuk, he says that the top of his funnel, so what gets people into higher ticket courses and products that he offers, is his video blog. In order to watch the videos, they give him their email address or they follow his channel or whatever, but that's the top of his funnel. It's a piece of content that he's able to use to draw people's attention. And then what he does, which I love about social media, is he reuses that content. So I have this webinar that I'm shooting right now. It's going to be 90 minutes in length. And the best thing about this webinar is I can now cut it up into 25 or 45 different videos and put it all over the internet. I could put it on YouTube. I could put it on Facebook. I could put it on Instagram. I could put it on LinkedIn. I could put it on Twitter. I can take this one video that I'm shooting and put it into a million different channels, a million different ways, and reuse that content. And that's why Gary says he's able to make, I think, $17 million a year just off his social media presence. Because truly, like Gary says, you have to be on social media in order not to be vulnerable in 2019 in business. So one of the things that Gary also says is a lot of people complain about social media algorithms and about content they can post, content they can post. And what Gary likes to do is say, listen, those are free platforms. If you don't have $5 a day to boost a post, if you don't have $5 a day to grow a following, you probably don't need to be running your own business. And I really want to sit and meditate on that concept for a minute. There's so much intimidation for new business owners to devote thousands of dollars a month in advertising, to boost posts, to understand SEO, to buy AdWords, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But what Gary's pointing out is that in order to get ahead in the world, you have to post on social media. And what's beautiful about that is most social media platforms are free. However, there is a cost to running a business on social media. So let's talk specifically about Facebook and Instagram, because these are probably the two most popular platforms for businesses. Twitter, LinkedIn, and Snapchat and Pinterest are great places to market your business as well. But I don't use them for my business. So what I'm specifically going to focus on today is Facebook and Instagram. If you're not interested in using Facebook and Instagram, I don't think that's good. So let's talk about Instagram and Facebook today. Instagram and Facebook are places where you can build a following of people who like your business, who will look at your pictures or look at your product, where you can message with people, you can send active links to people. It's a place where you can build trust and relationship and rapport with people. You'll notice how much of my coaching goes back to relationship building. Even if it's a relationship with someone, for me in, Timbuktu, I can build that through the power of online marketing. And I love that. So here's how I have built my Instagram and Facebook followings for myself and my clients' businesses. Number one, there's a rule. And I'm really serious about this, so please listen closely. Don't buy followers. Just don't buy followers. It might look like the easy way out, but what it does is it lowers your engagement. It shows people that you cheat, because anyone who's savvy, anyone who's looking to hire you, anyone who understands business, who understands social media, is going to see that you have maybe 25,000 followers and only 2 engagements on your post, or 15 likes on your post. They're going to understand, they're going to know that you lied, that you cheated on that post. They're going to understand that you tried to take the easy way out, that you don't actually have organic followers. And so when you buy fake followers, it screws up your analytics. It screws up your opportunity to do high-level partnerships with influencers. And in addition to that, it's really discouraging when you post something and, I have 10,000 followers, but only 3 people liked my post. It really does feel dirty, because it is a dirty thing to do. And most importantly, if you are really into the left brain mathematical, analytical side of your business, when you buy followers, it totally screws up your analytics. So just don't do it. The next rule for social media marketing is post content that meets your target market. This applies to Pinterest, Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and every other social media channel in the world. Post content that meets your target market. Please, for the love of God, people, they want to post beautiful photos on, let's say, Twitter or let's say Instagram, but they're posting pictures of their breakfast and their cat. Maybe you're a business coach. I have no business posting pictures of my breakfast or my cat, I don't have a cat, on Instagram or on Facebook or on Twitter or on Pinterest. It has nothing to do with my businesses. So please use discretion with what you're posting on your page. It's not relevant. If it's not relevant to your target market, just don't post it. It's better to post nothing at all. My clients, the best thing that they do to post relevant content to their target market is simply this. Remember your personal brand statement. It's what we talked about earlier. It's the Brendon Burchard statement. I help people blank so that blank. So what do you help people do? What problem are you solving? What's your unique value proposition? Go back and watch this video when I give you a replay later. But remember, when you're posting, just go back to your personal brand and say, does this fit with my personal brand? So I help people build multiple income streams within their businesses so that they can make more money in less time. Every time I post something, I try to make it relevant to that. Even if it's just a picture of me hiking on a mountain, I like to say, here's the book I was meditating on while I was hiking, and here's what it has to do with your business. It's kind of hard if you don't have a product to post pictures of your product. So I've made myself, my personal brand, my product, but in my comments, my descriptions, and my hashtags, which we'll talk about in a minute, I like to focus on what my target market may want to read or hear from me. So the thing that I really also like to point out when you've identified your target market on social media, is that you are more free in what you post. And here's why. Let's say you are a yoga teacher. Let's say you are a financial advisor, and you're sitting in front of a blank slate on Facebook or Twitter or Pinterest, and you're going, oh my God, what am I going to post? What am I going to post? When you really identified a target niche or target market, you're more free because you have a baseline, you have a benchmark of what type of content you can post. Number 3, the rules to social media marketing, post relevant content. Now, I already said I don't want you to post pictures of your cat or pictures of your breakfast unless you have a cat business or a food business. But the other thing that I've noticed really helps people when you're posting relevant content to your target market, which was what we talked about a second ago, when you're posting relevant content, people trust you more. I think if a couple times I've posted just because I thought they were beautiful pictures, I posted pictures of like acro yoga, or I've posted a meme about like sexuality or psychology, which doesn't totally meet my target niche. They don't trust me anymore because they're following me to get business ideas or business coaching tools. They're not following me to see an acro yogi or something like that. So I make sure that even if I do post a picture of, let's say, a yoga posture on my business account, or let's say on my mom's account, I post a picture of a networking event, I really try to target, I really try to make it relevant to that niche, to that market. Because if you're posting stuff that's irrelevant, people who are looking for the content that you're supposed to be delivering are going to unfollow you because they're not going to trust you anymore. Now, number 4, rules for social media marketing, post visually appealing content. I can't express how wrong it feels when I'm scrolling through Instagram and I see all these dark, dank, dim pictures. The worst is when a woman takes a picture in like a bar or club and there's like a toilet behind her. I'm like, oh my God, no. Social media, especially Pinterest, Instagram, and Facebook, are very visually stimulating platforms. One of the secrets that you may not realize is that only 85% of the people on Instagram, for instance, do not read your comments, do not read your descriptions, do not read anything that you write about your post. And that's why the actual photo that you're posting is so important. One of the smartest things people do in their Pinterest marketing is or YouTube videos, is they like to have a headline on that picture. You can do it on Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn and all those things, but Pinterest, people really have this dialed in. I know a lot of people who make a lot of money from Pinterest, where maybe you're going to post a photo of your mug that says hustle, and it's going to say, it's going to link to an article. Maybe this is a sales funnel type thing, and it's a mug that says hustle, and maybe it says 5 reasons hustle is bullshit. And then maybe your article is going to talk about efficiency and flow. And remember, write this down. On the internet, you only have 6 seconds to capture someone's attention. So that 6 seconds, you have to post something that's very visually sound. I love to use presets through Lightroom. I love to use great lighting with my photos. I told you that I was using a beautiful light to put behind me, put in front of me to light up my background today on this video. I love to use gorgeous backdrops or very simple, clean backdrops as opposed to like a cluttered mess or closet behind me. I'm shooting this video in my living room in front of a very clear backdrop, so that it's more visually stimulating than, let's say, I'm sitting on my couch and there's books and children's toys all over the place. It just doesn't make you look like a professional. It doesn't make you look like you have your act together. Rule number 5, on social media, it's actually great to repost user-generated content, so stuff that other people have posted. One of the things that I like to do is I always like to tag influencers in my posts. So let's say I'm wearing a pair of Sorel shoes, or I've got a Patagonia jacket or an Athleta tank top. I love to tag those people in my post or repost their content, so that I can engender reciprocity. They're saying, wow, she's posting my stuff, she's reposting my stuff. That's incredible. We're going to repost her stuff. So it engenders sort of like this spirit of reciprocity with people. And the other thing is, it's not lazy to repost other people's stuff. Sometimes it's better to repost someone else's stuff, tag them accordingly, than to create your own piece of irrelevant content. The next thing on social media is please get engagement. The best way that I know how to do this is to comment on other people's posts, to respond to the comments that are made on your posts, answer questions that people ask you very, very promptly. Engage with people. People love when you engage with them. You know, one of the big rules in sales is let people talk about themselves, because it makes them feel special, because they are special. So you should remind them of that. The next thing for engagement is private messages. Nearly 100% of my current business comes from private messages with people. So I make sure that even if I say thank you to someone for engaging on my post, it takes only a minute, and it usually gets us in really great conversations. Don't forget to advertise on social media. For Facebook and Instagram, you can throw $5 a day at boosting posts, and I do it, pretty regularly myself. Usually if I'm sitting and decompressing or waiting in line, somewhere, I sit and boost posts, spend a bunch of money on Facebook posts. But boosting posts is a great way to boost your social media following, to get more engagement and more likes on the posts that are great. Get folks into your website or sales funnel as well by boosting posts, and alas, making sure that that post links to a website. The best thing about Instagram and Facebook is that when you boost a post, you can put active links in that post. So it's a little bit of a pay-to-play environment, but y'all, it's $5 to boost a post. Just do it. It's so cheap. It's a no-brainer. If you don't have $5 to boost a post, you probably don't belong in business. I'm going to tell you that right now. So the next thing you have to do If you have Instagram specifically, is get a Linktree, Linktr.ee. It's a way that you're able to link to a lot of different websites with one single link. And on Instagram, for instance, and on Facebook, in your description, in your bio, it only gives you room for one link, one website. And so this allows you to link to lots of different places with one simple Linktree link. The next social media rule is please get a great camera or a great iPhone. Lighting is really, really critical. I could take a picture in my dining room right now that's going to look very dark and very dim, and it's not going to look very professional. But then on the contrary, I can take a picture in front of a window. My face is lit up. I look like I'm in front of a camera or getting ready for TV, and that post is going to get twice as many likes, twice as much engagement, because it's visually appealing. You don't need a professional camera. Just make sure that you really focus on getting images that look clean, that are well staged. One of the best ways that I like to stage photos, I wish I could grab it, but I love to stage photos like this. Hold on. I love to stage photos with a simple backdrop. This is a blanket that I bought that has my mom's Wear Capes colors, my logo colors, and I love to stage photos with this in the background. So maybe I'm taking a picture of one of my books. Do you see how that changes when you create a great backdrop? Maybe you're a hairstylist and you're taking pictures of people who've just had their hair colored and they're in their car and there's a seatbelt and they look a mess and the lighting is terrible. Just say, hey, why don't I get a picture of you right now, stand in front of this backdrop, I'll shoot a picture of you, and all of a sudden it looks like a professionally staged photo. All you had to do is throw up a blanket and get good light. So really, really consider how you're not only creating visually appealing, relevant content, but you're making it look beautiful as well. Next thing, when it comes to social media marketing, is what to write. The thing that I love to do is to make sure that my bio or description has my personal branding statement. I help businesses create multiple streams of revenue so that they work more, they make more money in less time in their businesses. That's for my business coaching. Or at least at the time of this recording, that's what's on my Instagram bio, my Facebook bio, my LinkedIn page, my Twitter bio. Everything has my personal branding statement on it. So make sure that you have a very, very clear message. Don't say, I'm a mom, I like bananas, I have a cute poodle. Stay focused on what your target market is following you to hear. In photo captions, it's really great to build vulnerability with people and to provide great content, but I'm going to tell you something. 85% of people are not going to read your photo captions or your descriptions. So if you're writing something really beautiful, make sure you save it, turn it into an email, turn it into an article, turn it into a blog post for later on. Reusing content is one of the most efficient and beautiful things you can do in your business. The next thing I want to talk to you about is live videos and story highlights. Oh my goodness, I cannot believe how many people are using Facebook and Instagram live videos to radically impact their business. It shows people that you can show up, that you, like for instance, when I do a live video, I'm just looking straight into people's eyes. It builds a lot of trust. It engenders a lot of love between myself and my target customer. And then most importantly, what I love about shooting live videos is it shows that I know my shit without a script, because the days of looking at a teleprompter and shooting an information video are gone. People are looking for real people who know what they're talking about, who can say it unscripted, who can connect with their eyes, with their audience, with a camera. I love, love, love connecting with people myself, and that's why I think that live videos are so important on social media. The next thing that I want to talk to you about with social media is using hashtags. Hashtags are a really great way to get in front of all people on the internet, but using the right hashtags gets you in front of your target market. My favorite way to do hashtag research is simply to go look at, let's say, someone who's Marie Forleo or Oprah or Mel Robbins or Dean Graziosi, someone who's selling a similar product to what I sell, use the hashtags they are using, because someone spent a lot of money researching what hashtags to use for that person. So instead of me spending a lot of time and money researching hashtags, I see what the celebrity endorsers are of the big celebrity influences are in my niche, and I piggyback their hashtags. The other way that you can do hashtag research is to go on a desktop version of Instagram, and when you type in hashtag and then let's say mompreneur or hashtag yoga teacher, it'll tell you how many people are using that hashtag, so that you can get the most effective ones. The other thing you can do for all of your social media accounts, Pinterest, LinkedIn, you can go to www.trends.google.com /trends to find out what hashtags, what content is very relevant for that specific day. So maybe today Bruno Mars is really hot and trending, and you want to just get visibility, and so you're going to post something about, Bruno Mars today. I don't know. It might be relevant to your business, but google.com /trends is where you want to go to do your relevant research for that day if you want to post content that's relevant to that specific day. The next thing that you can do to really scale your business, and this is the very last thing that we're going to talk about today, is simply this. The best thing that I do in my business is delegate. When I started in my business, I invested $3,000 a month into an assistant who was my marketing assistant. This person was doing all the work for me when it came to posting my content, writing my emails, doing my blog, sending my comments, prospecting for high ticket customers, etc., 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 you name it. And then I found that I could actually custom tailor a computer to do a lot of that work for me. And so here's what I'll leave you with today. There are only 40 hours in the average work week, 35 to 40 hours in the average work week. How many of those hours are you spending doing something that a computer could do for you, or that a $5 or $6 an hour contractor could do for you? I want you to take an analysis right now. Just sit with this. How valuable is your time? What is your time worth? My time is worth $750 an hour, which is, what my highest ticket customers are paying for my services. So what I want to know is, are you doing so many activities that you'd be better off hiring out or delegating to someone who could do them a lot more cheaply? What can you delegate? My favorite thing to delegate is for $500 a month, I have a full-fledged messaging system and following tool on my social media accounts that helps me get in front of my target market without having to sit there and type 1 million messages a day to see who's interested in talking to me. So make more money in less time by being efficient and by delegating as much as humanly possible. If you want to know more about this or anything else I've talked to you about today, you can find me on Facebook at facebook.com/AspenEntrepreneur. You can find me also on Facebook at facebook.com/momswearcapes. On Instagram, I'm at momswearcapes or at Aspen Entrepreneur. You can find me when you Google me, Stephanie Pierucci or Stephanie Hirsch, which is my son's dad's name. You can find me, on Twitter at Aspen Best Life. You can email me support@momswearcapes.com or support@aspenentrepreneur.com. Y'all, you can find me because on the internet, I am killing it, and I want you to kill it as well. So please reach out to me by any means that you're comfortable with, and I hope that this webinar has blessed you as much as it has blessed me to shoot it and film it. I have been an entrepreneur for 17 years. I've learned a few really important things along the way. For some of you, this might seem very, very simple. For some of you, this might seem absolutely overwhelming. And I want you to know, if you're feeling overwhelmed, we can make this very easy for you and develop a beautiful business plan. I would love to help you with that. Just reach out to me, like I said, on Instagram at Aspen Entrepreneur, on Facebook at Aspen Entrepreneur, on Twitter at Aspen Best Life, or email me support@aspenentrepreneur.com. Have a beautiful day.